Hello and welcome to an update of the AC Milan transfer market. It's been a few days since I've given an update, but that's really just because nothing has been going on too much. Now we've got a couple different movements in the market, some things to talk about, and some things to look forward to. Alrighty, so we will kick it off as is customary, up at the front. In attack, there's really been no big changes as far as strikers go. I think we're going to be riding this season out with what we currently have. Unless something randomly comes through late with a loan for Milenkovich, but I do not think that's going to happen. I feel that we're going to be running it through with Ibrahimovic, and backing him up will be a slew of people, including Lorenzo Colombo, maybe Emil Roback, but I feel like he will be with the Primavera primarily, although he may get some minutes here and there. Additionally, Rafael Leao can slot into that position, and so can Ante Rebic as kind of a false nine. So I think that we're just going to sit with that for striker as far as this year goes. Maybe next year we'll consider getting somebody who will be a more permanent replacement for Ibrahimovic. Out wide on the left side, we have officially signed Ante Rebic for an undisclosed fee, and I believe that the reason why it's undisclosed is we're probably doing a full-on straight swap with Andre Silva, and this is the only way that they can make this work, is to just kind of agree a certain fee that each team would pay, just to kind of have it be as close to a straight swap as possible. Both teams are happy. I think it's a great piece of business, and that's that. As far as the right wing goes, there's still some news to be had here. Of course, the name on everybody's lips for AC Milan is Federico Chiesa. It was released a few weeks back that there might be 90 million requested from Rocco Commisso of Fiorentina, but he has been dropping the transfer price here from 70 to 60, and now it's looking like we might be able to get Chiesa for around 50 million, which is starting to become a better deal. I still think that it's overpriced for that. I would say maybe once you get closer to 40 million, even 30, 35, you're kind of looking at more what the price of Chiesa actually should be, but this market is crazy. Even during COVID, players are still overvalued, so we'll see. That being said, Milan definitely will not be going for Chiesa at this point unless we sell somebody. That brings me to my next point, is that there is some exciting news, for me at least, maybe not for some Milan fans, but it looks like we may have a bidder for Lucas Paqueta. And it seems that it may actually be Lyon. The issue, though, is that Lyon has to sell a player or two in order to make a bid for Paqueta. So Juninho, who is from Lyon and is one of the directors there, is a fellow Brazilian like Paqueta, and he values Paqueta. He thinks that he can be a good player given the right environment, and to be honest, Paqueta might become a very good player given the right environment. So it could be a very good move for him. So he wants to pick up Paqueta, but they need to sell somebody. The most likely person to do that would be Houssam Aouar, who has been linked with Juventus, and I believe he's going to be going for somewhere between 35 and 40 million. Then again, Arsenal may be looking at Aouar as well, so I believe he's going to be going to either Arsenal or Juventus. So I'm hoping that they get a move on that so they can start negotiating with Paqueta. Once we sell Paqueta, which we're going to be looking for somewhere between 20 and 25 million, which will be a capital loss on our books, but hey, something is better than nothing. Once we get those funds, I believe we will make our strike for one of two targets, one of them being Federico Chiesa. So we will see how that progresses this week. So that's the main news as far as the attacking department goes this week. If you move back to midfield, there has been really no movement at all. We have officially signed Sandro Tonali as of last week. He has taken number 8. I think it's an awesome signing, as now we have a very, very good midfield core. The last bit is that Rade Krunic is right now the 4th player, with Tommaso Pobega as the 5th. I honestly think that's fine to take this season out, but we are still trying to go for Tomoya Bakayoko as well as BAKAYI Soumare, which I think are both good choices for us. I kind of am leaning towards Soumare, as I feel like he has more upside, and I'm just not sure if Bakayoko is going to rediscover his old form with us. Either way, I just hope that we don't spend too much money on this position, as it will be a 4th position, and while it is good to have depth, I don't believe that that is a spot that we need to be investing 30 million into. Then again, I don't believe Milan is going to pay 30 million for anybody, as we really are looking more closer to 15 to 20 million for this last spot, and just seeing if maybe later in the transfer market, one of the two teams that we're negotiating with will budge and drop the price on either Soumare or on Bakayoko. So we'll see about the midfield department. Also, Radek Krunic may have some offers for him, so we'll see if he gets sold to kind of fund some other moves. Next up is going to be in the side back department. There's really been no movement. We might make a move for a backup left back if Laxalt leaves, but I don't really think that we've had any offers for Laxalt so far, so I believe we're keeping as is. As far as right back, we are also keeping as is, and as I said in the last post, I feel this is a very good idea because the players we're looking at, none of them are a very obvious definitive upgrade over what we already have, especially for the money that the teams are requesting. Whether that is Denzel Dumfries or whether this is Serge Aurier, I just feel like they're good players. They're probably upgrades to Calabria, Conti, and Salamakers, who can also play that spot, but it's not like they're worth a ton of money in my opinion at this point. So I'd rather hold off until we get a top-notch right back on our radar before spending that type of money. The next biggest piece of news, besides the Chiesa and Paqueta news, is the center back news. We are still trying for Milenkovich. That is by far our top target. There's still been talks over German Petzela, but Milenkovich really is the top target. So a lot of negotiation between Milan and Fiorentina have been taking place. Once again, this will depend on sales, and it's going to be very interesting to see who we go for once we sell Lucas Paqueta, if we sell Lucas Paqueta. I think that we need Milenkovich more than we need Chiesa because we are very low in our center back depth, and if something happens to either Kier or Romagnoli, yes, we have Gabbia, but after that, there's really nobody else. Usacho can deputize, and I do trust him as a backup, but Leo Duarte, I feel like we should be trying to offload him as he's just been a complete bust so far. So I feel like we're still going to be trying to go for Milenkovich, although we may wait till later in the transfer market to see if his price drops down a little bit, because I think Fiorentina are still requiring $40 million for him. So their prices and their valuations are definitely high on their talents, but Rocco Commisso drives a hard bargain, and I really don't believe that we're going to be able to get both players. That being said, if we did get both players with Chiesa and Milenkovich, we sold off Radek Krunic, we sold off Lucas Paqueta, we would probably have to come up with a decent amount of extra funds because Krunic is really only going to net us somewhere maybe around 10 or so million, Paqueta somewhere between 20 and 25, so you're looking at around 35 million maximum for those two players, and that's really just going to afford you Milenkovich, so we'd be having to come up with the entire price of Chiesa, which hopefully we'd try to get down to like 45 or so million all on our own, and I don't know if Elliott would actually fund that type of a move there. So we're probably looking at getting one of them, which is fine. My heart says let's get Chiesa because I think that he's a perfect fit for Milan, but my mind says we should be getting Milenkovich because we really need a center back who's going to be here for a while and who is very promising. We do have some band-aids that we have this year for center back, but we really could use some good depth there. That's pretty much that. We're still kind of working on the goalkeeper renewal of Donnarumma, but we'll see what this long saga plays out to be. Anytime we deal with Mino Raiola, it's always just a total crapshoot, so we will kind of see how the next couple weeks plan out. Alright, so things to look out for this week. It's really going to all come down to sales. Can we sell Lucas Paqueta? Can we sell Radek Krunic? And can we get a good value for them? If we can, that's going to start opening up the market. And there's really going to be one of three moves that Milan's going to make. Watch out for the possibility of signing Federico Chiesa for the right wing spot. Watch out for the possibility of signing either Bakayoko or Bakary Soumare for midfield as our last kind of depth signing. And then watch out for hoping to sign Milenkovich for center back. I doubt we're going to get all three this summer. We might wind up with one. We might wind up with two. I think it's very definite that we're going to wind up with one of those three spots and one of those three players. But we probably will not be able to get all three. That would be kind of a dream market, but those are the things to watch out for this week. I appreciate you guys' time and for tuning in. If you like this channel, subscribe. I will be back probably in a couple of days as things are finally starting to move in the transfer market with another update. And of course, any big news that happens Milan's way, I'll be giving you guys an update. Stay posted as well. Tomorrow there is the match between Milan and the Shamrock Rovers for the Europa League qualifying stages. We have a bit of a decimated back line, so it's going to be Simon Kjaer and Gabbia who are going to be starting in center back, but I think that they'll do all right. I'm very excited to see what happens, and I'm excited to see if Tonali plays, so tune in for that tomorrow. and check Milan out. Thank you guys for listening, and as always, Forza Milan.